evening, everyone. Today we're going to have the great journalist and politician, Mr. Khaled Dawoud. Mr. Dawoud, we're glad to do this interview today. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's begin the question. There are a few days till the elections start. Do you think that the election is settled to President Sisi?
Well, there's no question that he's like the candidate with the biggest chances to be re-elected for a third term. At the end of the day, the entire state works on behalf of President Sisi. He's the acting president. He's been the president for 9 years.
Who's the main competitor to Sisi?
Practically speaking, within the 4 candidates, the only opposition candidate running against Mr. Sisi is Khaled Dawoud.
You're supporting Khaled Dawoud, right?
I am a member of the Egyptian Social Democratic Party. I support Khaled Dawoud, although I was really hoping and wishing that the elections would have been more open to competition. The problems that faced Mr. Ahmed Tantawi as a possible candidate shed many doubts on the credibility of the upcoming elections.
What is your opinion about the achievements of President Sisi in the last year?
So the sense of security, restoring that sense of security among Egyptians is a very important achievement, I think. And again, rebuilding Egypt's external relations with important countries is also another important achievement that Mr. Sisi worked on.
What are your predictions on the economy of Egypt in the future?
Well, we are in a very difficult situation. Unfortunately, President Sisi did not listen, to many of the advices and maybe criticism that his economic policies are practically not different from the ones that we've had before under President Mubarak. I hope that there are some lessons learned. We are now seeing a tendency among the government itself to cut down expenses, not to start any new so-called mega projects, and also at the same time to try to depend on local industry. The Muttahida, the United company now, is basically has a monopoly on not just the TV production, but also on the the media, on the drama production, the movies production. I mean, and the same applies to the private newspapers. Right now, we have a very, very few number of private newspapers, such as Al-Mawq3 and Al-Shuruq. But then, and in this age and time, even if you block the news websites, like they block Mada Masr, for example, they resort to the social media and people can still read the content. You cannot prevent the flow of information, and you only gain bad reputation as the country that puts journalists in jail, as the country that blocks news websites, including human rights websites, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Al Jazeera. I mean, despite the improvement in relations between Egypt and Qatar, remain to be officially blocked, because if you try to type their whatever address, it won't open.
What do you think the future holds for the political environment in Egypt, as you are a great politician?
Well, I wish that the government here, and the President Sisi in particular, because he's the one who holds all the powers, would kind of appreciate that Egyptians need to open more the political space. And I guess, judging by my participation in the national dialogue, the message we got from the government and the government representatives was that after President Sisi took office in 2014, conditions were not right to open up the political system. They would tell us that there was the threat of terrorism, there was a threat of economic collapse, and there was, all the dangers facing Egypt on the regional level, say Libya, Sudan, Palestine, whatever. I mean, around us, close to us, is in kind of a very volatile situation. So they said that's why they needed to delay political reforms. I do not believe in this, because political reforms do not go against, standing up as a united front while dealing with those problems. But that's what they officially say. We said that they tell us that, maybe we did not give priority to political reforms, but now is the time to open up a little bit.
What do you want to say to the next president that would be elected?
You're asking me to send a message to President Sisi. It's not like a surprise. It's the same message that I just said before, that I wish that we change course, that we respect the rights of Egyptians, that we apply the constitution, that we need to have a different election law, that at least changes the election system. I wish to see more people coming out of prison.
Do you think that the recent splitting in the 7 movement, and I'm here talking about the 2 parties, the Al-Mawq3 and the Egyptian Democratic Party, suspension of membership, That will have an impact on the future of the civil movement?
I hope not. And as I said, I think actually the key line of division that kind of led to debate within the civil democratic movement was over the issue of Tantawi. What we disagree about, what the parties disagreed on, was the credibility and the integrity of the upcoming elections. That's where people differed.
So these two parties are going to align again after the election?
They said they suspended their membership. They did not say they are pulling out from the civil democratic movement.
Do you think that the government has lost the authority over the Nile River?
It's a very difficult situation. I think Egypt still has some room for maneuvering, but personally, I believe that any military rhetoric about dealing with the Renaissance Dam, maybe we can still negotiate with the Ethiopians, keeping and preserving our rights in the River Nile water, and then look for other ways. Egypt has a lot that can offer to Ethiopia in terms of electricity generation, in terms of development projects. We can work on that and become more cooperative rather than confrontation.
What is your opinion about the role of the government and the President Sisi over the Palestinian issue since October 7th? Actually, I'm speaking specifically on the refusal of the government to displace people from Gaza to Sinai.
I think this is one stand which Mr. Sisi took in a manner that satisfied many. Because when we were talking about presidential elections, again, the firm stand that he's announced that this is a matter of a red line for Egypt's national security, because allowing the deportation of the Palestinians would be, as he said in his own words, liquidating the Palestinian cause.
Do you think that there will be a permanent ceasefire anytime soon?
There must be. I mean, there's no war that lasts forever. Beyond, the immediate ceasefire, although it's very, very much required to save human lives, but it goes towards what we call finding a permanent solution for this conflict. And the permanent solution for this conflict is the creation of an independent Palestinian state.